Hey there, Gene Galin with the Chatham Journal. I'm here with Jim Nass, and he's running for the Pittsboro town mayor. And we're going to just talk a little bit with Jim here. There's been questions on the bulletin board raised about what's Jim about, and why is he running for the town mayor position. And Jim, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
Okay, Gene, thank you. Yes, I grew up in Denver, Colorado, in a house that my dad built. Went to high school there, met my wife junior year of high school, current wife. Went to the University of Denver and was fortunate enough to take an exam and get a job as a substitute distribution clerk at the post office, distributing packages and mail from 8 o'clock at night to between 4:30 and 6:30 in the morning, depending on the volume of mail that particular day. And that allowed me to finance my way through the University of Denver without burdening my parents financially or without taking out loans. So it was a real blessing. When I graduated from college, I took an exam with the Postal Service for a Postal Service officer. It was a much higher level position, and scored very, very high on that. And so as a result of that, I got a promotion to the regional office in Denver, covering a 5-state area. In 1971, Congress passed a law that removed the Postal Service from the President's cabinet and made it an independent executive agency. As a result of that, the Denver region was closed, and I transferred to a district office in San Bernardino, and then Santa Barbara, and finally Los Angeles, California. After working in Los Angeles for a bit, I was promoted to Postal Service headquarters in Washington, D.C., where I implemented some automation stuff and eventually became head of delivery and retail for the Postal Service. And nationwide delivery and retail had a budget of a little over $25 billion, and I was responsible for monitoring that budget and implementing programs to improve that. Retired from the Postal Service in 1992 with 30 years of service, took a little time off and became an independent consultant affiliated with a group in Northern Virginia called Ren Group, which is now the Renaissance Group. And that gave me the opportunity to work some very large corporations like Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman and SAP and those companies in the areas of business development, tactical planning, and strategic planning. And also gave me the opportunity to work with some small companies like Acoma. And I got very interested in biometric security and worked with some startup companies in fingerprint and facial recognition software and algorithms and that sort of thing. Moved here to Pittsboro almost 5 years ago now, and have a daughter in Durham, and we used to visit, and I got a chance to come out to Pittsboro. My wife and I fell in love with it. Said, boy, when the time comes, we want to be in Pittsboro. We love the town, we love the rural nature of the community, the artists, just love the whole thing. So when the opportunity arose, we moved on down. Shortly after we arrived, within a year, I looked around our own community here in Potterstone Village and found that there was a disconnect between the Potterstone Board of Directors and the community. There are divisions in the community. There were some financial issues and problems that we were facing, so I decided to run for that board. And I've been president of the Community Association here in Potterstone Village for the last 3 years. We've been able to heal those divisions by being very, very open in our dealings. We have monthly meetings now where everyone is invited to attend. We post the minutes of those meetings regularly. And we were also able to get the financial situation under control. The first budget that I and my board proposed to the community was composed of a 25% cut in operating expenses by bidding out for the first time the major contracts for our pool and landscaping maintenance and that sort of thing. And we got the financial house in order, and so we now have, instead of $19 in our reserve account, almost $33,000 in our reserve account without raising dues. So I was able to do that by working with the board and working with the community and bringing people together rather than separating them, and it's been a great experience for me.
So your government, you've had both government and business experience, and you're using that all to help in the community here.
That's correct. That's correct. This has enabled me to learn the techniques and approach things in a way that brings people together rather than separating them. And that's true in business, it's true in government, and it's true here in Potterstone Village. One of the things I've learned over the years is that great ideas come from the most unexpected places. And if you're willing to really, really listen, you can hear those ideas. And if you're willing to work with people and try to bridge the differences, you can achieve a common purpose. And so I really think that this has helped me bring those talents to bear on this community and hopefully to the town of Pittsboro. The other thing that has been really important in my background is the emphasis on tactical and strategic planning, because I've discovered if you really take the time to sit down and think through the long-term implications of decisions that you make today, you avoid so many problems, and it prevents you from having to restart at an expense that you don't have to incur. So that experience working with, again, large businesses, small businesses around the country has really been invaluable to me.
What do you see as some of the challenges in Pittsboro, and how would you approach those challenges as mayor?
Well, I continue to think that management of growth is the chief challenge that faces Pittsboro because it encompasses so many other of the really important issues in our community. Look, we are in a great position geographically. We know that growth is going to come from the east. We know that growth is going to eventually come from the north. It's how we manage on that growth that is going to determine whether that growth is good for the people that live here or is bad for the people that live here. Whether or not it protects our long-term residents, whether or not it improves and rejuvenates our downtown, or whether it destroys it. So the decisions we make about water and sewer, the decisions we make about our infrastructure, the decisions we make about our zoning regulations and how we implement those, the approach we take in terms of becoming a destination, the approach we take on bringing business in, all get encompassed in how we deal with those growth issues. And I'll tell you, I've seen places around this country where growth has so overwhelmed small communities that the old-time residents almost get forced out of that community because of the tax structure and water and sewer rates and that sort of things. I think that's wrong. I think, and quite frankly, it's immoral. And so I think if we sit down and really work together to build a 5-year financial plan that encompasses the assumptions that we get consensus on as to where we want to go, and then implement the tactical plans to reach that strategy, we can bring growth on and at the same time protect what's so wonderful about our town and protect the residents who live here.
There's an open government website out there, and they gave Pittsboro a rating of D. What kind of things do you think you can do to help improve the open government within Pittsboro?
Well, I think one of the things that we can do is improve the town of Pittsboro's website by making much more information available and make it more available more quickly. Secondly, I think we can encourage more people to attend town hall meetings. I think we can get the minutes of those meetings out quicker and faster. And quite frankly, the commissioners and the mayor need to get out into the community more. They need to visit businesses one-on-one. They need to visit residential areas one-on-one. And we need to let people know exactly what's going on. We need to make sure that all the things that we're considering and we're talking about are of a public nature. We don't need to make deals behind the scenes. We don't need to be talking to folks behind the scenes and let rumors start to leak. Get it out front. And I think that as mayor, you can kind of lead that effort in making sure that we're as open as we possibly can be. That also includes treating everyone with the respect they deserve as a citizen of Pittsboro or a stakeholder in Pittsboro, so that these folks feel comfortable in bringing their ideas, their concerns, and their approach to how things ought to be done to the table.
And Jim, if somebody has additional questions, I know this was just a very brief interview here. If they have additional questions or they want to contact you, what do they need to do?
They can go on my website, www.jimnass.com, and they can also call me right here at my house, 542-4783, and I'll be glad to discuss any issue they have on their mind.
And that spelling, the website is?
www.jimnass.com.
Okay, well, Jim, it sounds like you've been having fun with this campaign. Folks, this is a little bit of the answers that you folks have been asking on the bulletin board. This is Jim. This is Gene. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gene.